With regards of the central nervous system, it has the two parts involved there, that is the brain as well as the spinal cord. And let us learn about the brain. The structure of the brain. Brain is very, very important organ which completely coordinates all our internal parts, internal functions with the external functions, external environment completely. So brain is very, very important. Let us see the structure of the brain. So when you see the structure of the brain, brain is located in the a bony box-like structure that is presented in the skull is called as cranium. A bony box-like structure that is called as a cranium is presented in the brain. And this brain is presented in the cranium, a bony box-like structure which is completely formed by the combination of 22 bony pieces. 22 bone pieces are linked together, internally locked and form like a box-like structure. In that box, this brain is protected. Brain is presented. That box is called as a cranium. Okay. And around this brain, along with this box, around this brain, there are three layers will be presented there. The outermost layer is called as the dura mater. The middle layer is called as the arachnoid mater. And the innermost layer is called as pi mater. There are the three layers are presented around the brain. The outermost layer is called as dura mater. It is highly fibrous material which protects the complete brain. and the middle layer is called as arachnoid matter. It is like a cushion like structure. It is like a cushion, like a sponge, which protects the brain from the external shocks and injury. And the innermost layer is called as a pia mater, which is completely equipped with or completely contact with the complete blood vessels. It is a vascular layer. It's a complete vascular layer. Number of blood vessels will be presented there, and those will supply the blood to the brain complete. Okay, and also the oxygen also supplied by this pia mater. Nearly 25% of the oxygen will be supplied to the brain itself. Out of 100% of the oxygen what we take in that 25% directly goes to the brain for its activities. Okay, so that oxygen also will be enter or supplied by this pia mater. Okay, between these three layers there is a gap. This gap is filled with a fluid-like structure called as CSF. CSF, that is cerebrospinal fluid. Cerebrospinal fluid that is presented around this in between these gaps of this durameter. Not only gaps, whatever the convolutions are presented in the brain, those are called as ventricles, the spaces. In that spaces also the cerebrospinal fluid will be presented, and it is presented not only in the brain, it is also presented in the central canal of the spinal cord. We learn about the central canal in the spinal cord topic. Okay, in the central canal of the spinal cord. So the cerebrospinal fluid, the CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, the cerebrospinal fluid will be running right from the spinal cord to brain, brain to spinal cord, and it will protect the total brain and spinal cord from the external injuries, external jerks, external blows or external shocks. Whatever the danger will come from external side to the brain and spinal cord, this cerebrospinal fluid and these three layers and also the bony box called as a cranium, these all will protect the brain as well as the spinal cord. And these three layers together called as meninges. These three layers together called as meninges. And there is a kind of disease called as meningitis. Meningitis, it's a kind of disease which affect the meninges, that is the inflammation of meninges. Meningitis means nothing but inflammation of meninges. Meninges means these are the three layers together called as meninges. Okay, and this brain is having the three major parts. Let me explain those parts. Three major parts. The brain is having the three major parts. The largest part of the brain is cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata. So cerebrum is also called as a brain. Cerebellum is also called as small brain. And medulla oblongata is also called as a brain stem. These are the three major parts that are presented in the brain. Let us learn about the cerebrum first. Cerebrum. Cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. You can see here, the largest part of the brain is the cerebrum. So it is also called as brain. And this cerebrum is having the folds, the vertical convolutions as well as the horizontal convolutions are presented here. The vertical convolutions are called as sulci. The vertical convolutions are called as sulci, and horizontal convolutions are called as gyri. Horizontal convolutions are called as gyri, and vertical convolutions are called as sulci. And these sulci and gyri makes the surface area will be broader, that more number of nerves will be enter into the brain, and once this intelligent quotient will be increases because of this convolutions which are presented. It was believed that if the more convolutions are there, the person's IQ will be more. IQ means intelligent quotient will be more, so that the brain, these convolutions are presented in the cerebrum, and the cerebrum is these type of grooves are presented in the cerebrum, and they have the spaces also in that, and those spaces are called as ventricles. Those are filled with cerebrospinal fluid, and in the center of this cerebrum, the cerebrum has been divided into two equal halves. The cerebrum is divided into two equal halves. This is the right, left, and this is the right, two equal halves. So left side and right side, left, these arms are, these equal halves are called as, each one called as hemisphere. Left hemisphere and right hemisphere. Left hemisphere and right hemisphere, and these two are divided or separated by, you can see here a reverse question mark shaped structure is presented here. This is called as corpus callosum. Corpus callosum, and it is a bony structure, hard bony structure, which separates the left hemisphere to right hemisphere. And also the function of this corpus callosum is, it is a relay center, convey the messages from the left side to right side to left side of the hemispheres. That is a major function of this corpus callosum. Okay, and this cerebrum is having two major parts. That is outer part is called as a cortex, and inner part is called as medulla. The inner part is called as medulla, and outer part is called as cortex. And the outer part, the cortex, is equipped with, the cortex is associated with all the cell bodies of the nerve cells. All the cell bodies are presented in the cortex of the brain, that is cerebrum. So all the cell bodies are grayish in color, so they make the total cortex in gray color. The total cortex of the brain is in gray color. This is because of the presence of all the cell bodies of the neurons. So this is called gray matter. It means the cortex of the brain is having the gray matter because of the presence of cell bodies of the neurons, whereas the medulla of brain is having the white matter because of all the nerve fibers are presented in the medulla. See, remember this one. It's a very important. They will be asking a question. Write the difference between the brain and spinal cord with regards of arrangement of the nerves. With regards of arrangement of the nerves. Here I am telling you once again. The cortex of the brain, the outside of the brain is equipped with the cell bodies of the neurons. So it is gray matter. And inside medulla is equipped with nerve fibers of the neurons, that is white matter in brain. That means gray matter is outside and white matter is inside in the brain. Whereas in the spinal cord, gray matter is outside, gray matter is inside, gray matter inside, white matter outside in the spinal cord. White matter outside. Why? Because here the cell bodies of the neurons are presented inside the spinal cord and nerve fibers are presented outside the spinal cord. That's why outside is white matter and inside is gray matter in the spinal cord. It is entirely reverse in the brain. Outside gray matter, inside white matter. Okay. And so that is very important. 2 marks question will be asked in the examination with regards of this arrangement of the neurons in the brain as well as in the spinal cord. Okay. And with associated of this cerebrum has been divided into 4 associated centers. 4 associated centers. This is 1, 2, 3 and 4. The first one, let me write here, the associated center, the first one is frontal lobe, second one is parietal lobe, third one is temporal lobe, the fourth one is occipital lobe. So these are the 4 lobes are presented in the cerebrum of the brain. These are the associated centers for the sense organs. Okay. The frontal lobe, the front part of the brain, that is the frontal lobe, is associated with memory. All the memory will be stored in the frontal lobe. Whatever the material we discuss, whatever the material we listen, that will be stored in the frontal lobe. That is for memory. That is the frontal lobe. And the second one is parietal lobe, is for speech and smell. Speech and smell. This is a parietal lobe. This is for speech. According to the situation, we speak out, and also the smell will be identified in this lobe. That is the parietal lobe. As well as the next one is the temporal lobe, is for taste and hearing the sound. And whereas the occipital lobe is for vision. Here the 4 associated centers are presented here. The frontal lobe is for memory and reasoning, thinking and taking decisions. That is the frontal lobe. Next one is the parietal lobe, is for speech as well as the identification of the smell. And the temporal lobe is for taste as well as the hearing the sound. And the last one, that is the occipital lobe, is for vision, to see the objects, to identify the objects. Okay, this is the major important information about the cerebrum. And tomorrow, otherwise in the next video, we will discuss about the another 2 parts of the brain, that is cerebellum as well as the medulla oblongata. Okay, thank you.